All new trends start in California. Remember that. When I was in the Army, might as well put it on. I've actually got one that goes with my Class A's. They still fit. Imagine that. I got one that's meant for my Class A's, and it's all clean. So the unit crest is good. The unit flash is supposed to be white, but this is one I wore when I was at Bragg. And after all these years as my common day wearing beret headgear, it's gotten dirtied over time. It's like when Clark Kent meets Superman after Superman had been in the bar when they meet in the junkyard. There's a little bit of a darkness to it now, I suppose. But I want you to know all new trends start in California. How do I know this? Because when I was at Fort Bragg, I was walking through the mall with a couple of buddies of mine, and we'd take a beer and put it inside a fast food cup and put the straw down through the hole of the beer. And you'd walk around and drink beer in public. Nobody's bothering you. You're not bothering anybody. But if you're in the 82nd, you're a jumping junkie. You're going to be doing something. And so by the time we got there, it was just drinking. Walking through the mall, and there's some guy at one of these little kiosk things, except they weren't like full-blown kiosks at that point. Guy sitting there at a table, and he's just got these little pogs. That's what they were called. I think they were called pogs. They're these little chips that he's sitting there with, and he's doing something for people to stop and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" And we didn't stop and say they're like. At the time, they were the Pokemon little chips of the time. And so he's sitting there. We didn't stop him, but he stopped us. He said, "Hey, guys, you want to get some of these pogs?" And he's playing this game with these little poker chip type of things, but they were cardboard. And I said, no, we're not interested. And he said, "It's the biggest deal in California right now." And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, but I don't live in California." And he just kind of shut the fuck up and realized he didn't get a sale. And we moved on. Some years later, we'll just say years later, you can do the math if you know the time, but it's not necessary to this story. So when you say, "Well, why are you talking about it?" I will tell you, because you were going to fucking say something about it. Then I was living in California, and I was not a cigarette smoker at the time. But while I was there, this thing came up where they eliminated cigarettes in bars. And that offended me, even though I'd never been a cigarette smoker at the time. I said, "You know what? This is how they do it, motherfuckers. This is an experiment on the American people, not just the people of California. It starts there because if the people of California accept it, then America follows, because that's where all new trends begin. North America, the United States of America. Americans. Canadians are not Americans. American is a specific way of thought. It's a philosophy that even the French said, we are France, we are French, but we're not Frenchican. They didn't say it exactly like that, but it was said that to be an American is to have a mindset of delusion, equity, and inclusion. They understood that the American people are a specific, it's a philosophy to be American. But to be from the North America, it doesn't count the same way. And that's why the Canadians don't call themselves Americans, because they don't follow that same way of thinking. It's a philosophy. And you ask Ayn Rand, cultural relativity. It can start wars or it can end wars, depending on how you are approaching the prospect. She didn't put it that way, I did. So I'm saying this is where they find out. They take our cigarettes away in the bar. And if the common people are like, well, I guess, okay, then you're going to find that they always threaten the what's the next step type of thing. It's a slippery slope. No, it's a fucking staircase to a place where they can stand and fucking jab you with a stick. All fucking day long. You fuckers, they got a stick. It's a fucking rake handle, it's a shovel handle, it's whatever kind of handle you need at the time. But I think it starts as a fucking weapon and then becomes a shovel handle, because you can put the shovel on top of it, hit the guy in the head one more time just to be sure, and dig a hole for him. And if he picks his head back up, you can fucking hit him in the head with the shovel again 3 times, like Isadore's Secret. It's a book. You should look it up if you want to see a great tale told about a cleaning lady who murdered a nun who was getting fucked by the priest, and is played by Dick Van Dyke. Played by Dick Van Dyke in a movie, and he acts pretty aggressive. I saw a clip. They did the non-smoking thing in California to see how people would fucking conform with it, which I'm not saying you can't fucking tell people. I did say somebody working in a bar that's complaining about the cigarette smoke, maybe they should find another job. But even smokers working in a bar, I understand. It's like growing up in my fucking mom's family out in Joburg in the woods, smoking constantly. Your eyes are burning from their cigarette smoke as they drink and play guitar and tell the fucking matriarch, come here, you old cunt. What a terrible place. So I understand you don't want to have a job, but this is what happened. They said no smoking in bars in California while I was there and not a smoker. And then they said the rest of the country, they followed. Next thing I knew, there was a time when I would go between California and Michigan. I'd be sitting in the bar and throwing the beer can in the garbage, and the woman's like, "What are you doing? That's a 10-cent recyclable." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, sorry about that." And then I'd go back to California and I'd be smoking in a bar, and they'd say, "What are you doing? You can't do that." I'm like, "Oh shit, I just came from Michigan. I don't know where the hell I'm at." There was even the one time I stopped in the bar going to a friend of mine's birthday party. I said, "Well, I'll just get a beer on the way." Pulled in, and at that point I had become a smoker. And I walked into the bar, ordered a beer, got my beer, sitting down. "Thanks, buddy. You mind if I smoke?" I pulled out cigarettes. I wasn't even thinking about it, and he caught me. And he's like, "Well, you can't smoke in here because of the laws." And I said, "Oh, fuck, I forgot. Darn, I mean, candied apples, I forgot." And he says, "Yeah." He says, "Cost you $65 fine if they catch you smoking in here." He said, "It'd be cheaper if you were smoking weed. So you're okay with that?" And I'm like, so they took away the notion, and I didn't have any weed. I wasn't smoking it. But it became clear that it was just something to do, to push the country down a direction. And I realize this thing, just within a day or two ago, he said, "We're going to have troops all over the country." Well, so evidently this parade he's having on Saturday, today's July 11th, full strawberry moon, like 2:44 a.m. this morning or something it was. He's going to have a parade come through D.C. that he says is going to be cheap. And at the same time, as I see, he's sending National Guard to like Texas, a city in Texas. It's either Austin or San Antonio. Antonio. I don't know. I've been both places, but I don't know which one they were talking about. They had a police chief, and he says, the National Guard, the federal government, they're not even talking with us. They're not getting with us to be prepared for what is about to happen. They just want mayhem. And so when you look at how that poor guy is having a parade on Saturday, and right now, because of the Epstein files, Elon telling everybody that he knows that Trump's demon just got its wings, that he's in the Epstein files, and oh no, I mean, come on, just look at the video. You know they're buddies, you know they've been having a good time for a while. You see Epstein giggle, and he's not giggling like he's enjoying that poor guy's company. He's giggling because he's just a fucking mark. Epstein thinks Trump is a mark, so he giggles and acts like he's laughing. You know what it looks like when somebody's fake laughing. No, you don't, because usually it's you, and there's never a fucking mirror around to catch it. But he's going to have National Guard attacking our big cities who are, the cop said, peaceful protest. The mayor said, peaceful protest, be cool, don't fuck up. This is your First Amendment right. So that poor guy's going to have these National Guard moving in. I didn't even know it. It came up by mistake that this is happening down in Texas. They're all planning on having a fucking protest, a peaceful protest. And there's National Guard coming in that will not communicate with the local law enforcement and political fucking leaders. While he's having a parade, he expects to have people being attacked by National Guardsmen who have never even read the Constitution. And I said this in the last video because when we take our oath of office, I was 17. I didn't know it. I said, I guess I have to listen to it. I didn't know how much of an unlawful order I would be following. So these fuckers, before they just start following orders, they should look at if they can see through their glasses and their Wilford Brimley mustaches and their bad haircuts. They should try to look at what a lawful order is according to the Constitution, because the Constitution is the only law of order for any person who takes an oath to support, uphold, and defend it. So now we're starting in California. All new trends start in California. And they're going to make a statement that says, all you other fuckers better be watching. Somehow that poor guy expects people to listen to him, even though he doesn't listen to the words on the wall.